A day of service for Vancouver students. See what these students did to give back to the community. Plus, a big check for a Vancouver teacher. Find out how he plans to spend all that money to help kids in his school. And Fort Vancouver High School is a center for international studies. But what does that really mean? We go inside the classroom to find out. Hello and welcome to Inside Vancouver Public Schools. I'm Chad Young. Students in 2 local schools give back to their community. We'll start at Vancouver School of Arts and Academics. Our student intern, Megan Bina, shot, wrote, and edited this story about her school's annual Day of Caring.
On a day like today, most students would be stuck inside. But for kids at the Vancouver School of Arts and Academics, they're working together at different projects all over Vancouver to help the community.
1, 2, 3!
For VSAA's annual Day of Caring, what started as a former student's senior project more than 10 years ago has evolved into something much greater. For their Day of Caring, these students took a bus back in time to the Fort Vancouver Historical Site to help landscape where people have been gardening for over 200 years. Another group of students got to know younger students at Marshall Elementary.
The kids had a lot of fun. They were all interested in knowing why we were here and what we were doing, and I heard a lot of them say, "Oh, you go to VSAA, I want to go there when I get older," and it was really cool.
And another group of students went downtown to help beautify Vancouver. Some checked in at the YWCA, where they painted and helped clean the attic.
It is amazing how many people are willing to put in a lot of extra time to make this day happen. Seeing that they can make a difference and the joy and the power in that.
Elsewhere in downtown Vancouver, these volunteers got their hands dirty and landscaped sidewalk trees. And some stayed behind at school. These students helped prepare the stage area of the Durst Theater at VSAA for the next show. In the end, giving back to our community provided VSAA students with an experience like no other.
Just going out to different places, and it makes you feel good.
Inside Vancouver Public Schools, I'm Megan Bina.
Thanks, Megan. VSAA isn't the only school reaching out to the community. Fort Vancouver High School embarked on a variety of projects in and out of the school building to help those in need. Amanda Richter tagged along.
And everybody can do something that's little to make the day better for somebody somehow.
With that idea as their guide, students from Fort Vancouver High School spend a spring day serving the community.
Fort Vancouver is at the top of the list.
The morning is kicked off by Vancouver Mayor and Fort Vancouver graduate Tim Levitt, who challenges the students to get out and give back. Then it's time to get busy. For some, service is small and personal. These students are filling the school's courtyard with positive messages for classmates written in chalk.
I hope they get a positive feeling because a lot of these are they're really inspirational and they're just really nice. It's something artsy to do, and I know that the whole school will see it, and it just makes me feel good.
Some students head off campus, like this group clearing litter from the Burnt Bridge Creek Trail, which is within walking distance of school. Others clean up a local cemetery.
But that's not the only way they're making a difference. Another group of students is here at the Van Mall Retirement Community to meet and bond with the residents.
Well, we've been talking about life accomplishments, what they do around here, how their life is, and talk about us, and see if we have anything in common.
It turns out today's high school students aren't that much different from those who came before them.
There's one lady, she's a fan of Boston Celtics, and so am I. And that's our confidence, basketball.
It's a little thing, but like today's event, it's an eye-opener for students.
Well, I'm hoping that they can see that everybody can take action and it doesn't need to be a huge way. I mean, money's always great as a way of giving to your community, but everybody can give their time.
Inside Vancouver Public Schools, I'm Amanda Richter.
Thanks, Amanda. The activities in that story were just a few of the many ways Fort students gave back on their day of service, the first event of its kind at the school. It's one of several firsts at Fort this year. Fort is about to finish its inaugural year as a Center for International Studies. So what is that? Fort is one of 30 schools around the country that's part of the Asia Society's International Studies School Network. That means that whenever possible, curriculum is a global perspective. We checked in with 3 classrooms at Fort to see what that looks like on an average school day. Fort Vancouver's Culinary Arts program lends itself perfectly to the school's global curriculum. They're learning not just how to slice and dice, but where their favorite foods come from. On this day, a pair of students present their research into the cuisine of Russia.
We spent a couple weeks on preparing a PowerPoint, and I presented that today to my class, and I think they enjoyed it.
These future chefs are opening their horizons as they figure out their culinary point of view.
Basically, what I was doing was telling my classmates how the culture and how my cooking style is in Russia, different from like how would I do it in the US.
Over in the English language learners classroom, students hail from all over the world.
Mexico, Italian, Ukrainian, Chinese, Korea, Vietnam, Moldovan, Russian. I'm from Russian.
They're all speaking English, the only common language in the room. Since they all came from someplace else, they share their genuine, diverse cultural experiences with each other in PowerPoint presentations.
7 writing pieces and I think 28 art pieces.
In another room, students critique artwork and writing by their classmates, which was created for a contest by the Oregon Jewish Museum and Center for Holocaust Education.
I think the biggest benefit for them is it does really help them to recognize perspectives in a global environment.
I think it makes you more open-minded because sometimes ignorance is the reason for all hate, so people get to understand what other cultures are like, what other religions are like.
Awareness of it.
Awareness is really like gonna eradicate all hate.
And it really helps them to create empathy. At a time when the world is so tumultuous, I think growing compassionate human beings is our highest calling.
The Center for International Studies also offers volunteer, travel, and other opportunities for students. A Fort Vancouver teacher and coach wins a regional competition, thanks in part to you. Dennis Carline is the winner of the Comcast Sportsnet Northwest All-Star Coach Competition. Carline coaches volleyball and track and beat out 3 other competitors in online voting. He was named the winner at a recent Trailblazers game and earned a check for $5,000. Before the winner was announced, Coach Carline told us he hoped to use the money to send his volleyball team to a prestigious summer camp. Congratulations to Coach Carline. Speaking of big checks, a teacher at Thomas Jefferson Middle School is surprised with one at an assembly. Patrick Mongrain was awarded $2,500 by Farmers Insurance. He'll be using the money to support PBIS at Jefferson. That stands for Positive Behavior Intervention and Supports, which encourages good behavior to build an uplifting school culture. Jefferson has been using the program for the last 3 years, and Mr. Mongrain has seen a difference.
Subjectively, I mean, noticing the difference walking down the hall of students being more positive, the environment's calmer, people are, more optimistic. But on the other side of the coin, we have very objective measurements too. We track our data through PBIS as far as discipline and behavior, and we've cut our suspensions by more than half, our expulsions by more than half over the last 3 years.
The giant check was part of the Farmers Insurance Thank America's Teachers Grant. Thank you, Farmers Insurance, and congratulations to Mr. Mongrain and the Jefferson Middle School PBIS team. Congratulations also go out to Geyser Middle School, which earns a national honor for its environmental efforts. Geyser was one of just 47 schools around the country to be named a Green Ribbon School by the U.S. Department of Education. The school was chosen for its partnerships that help reduce electricity use, natural gas and water consumption, and solid waste. Geyser also increased its recycling and composting efforts. This is the second time a VPS school has earned a green ribbon. Sacagawea Elementary was selected in 2013. The process of planning for Vancouver's future school buildings continues. This time around, it's McLaughlin Middle School's turn. At a community symposium, parents, teachers, students, and community members shared their ideas for a new Mac school building. Architects were on hand to hear their feedback and presented concept drawings a few days later. The concept drawings aren't final designs, but a collection of ideas that will potentially be used in the design process. Next up, Truman Elementary. Its symposium was held just 2 weeks later. Elementaries have different needs than middle schools, so the ideal building participants described was not surprisingly also much different. This is one of several symposiums the district is holding as it considers placing a bond measure in front of voters next year to replace and renovate aging school buildings. To learn more about that effort and to see videos about each of the schools that have held symposiums so far, head to the website on your screen. That's vansd.org/reschools. Finally, students who volunteered their time this year to help broadcast sporting events get a sweet reward. A collection of students from multiple schools had the chance to go to a Portland Timbers game and meet with the broadcast team. All of these students worked on VPS Game Time crews this school year, a district program that broadcasts live sports on Comcast and online. They're learning to be television professionals, and before the Timbers game, they met with announcers, crew members, and more to learn about broadcasting careers. We'd like to give a special thanks to Joe Cody and the Portland Timbers for arranging this unique opportunity for students. And we'd like to thank you for watching. Remember that you can see more news from Vancouver Public Schools online. Check out youtube.com/VanSDTV. Until next time, I'm Chad Young.